everybody. I want to read you a little something. This is going to be a little extra for you. It's about the new gun law getting ready to take effect July the 1st in the state of Florida. A lot of laws are going to be changing this year. I already read, if you haven't gotten it yet, you will get it, about the new law about driving a golf cart anywhere in the state of Florida, including here. So if you haven't gotten it yet, it'll probably be on this Friday's news. Watch for that. Because it's going to affect you when you come back here this winter, snowbirds, when you have grandkids here. Make sure you know about the new law. And the gun law starts July 1st. A new golf cart law about golf carts is going to take effect October the 1st. The law here about the guns takes effect July the 1st. Cheers. Now, I'm not reading this trying to cause any kind of debate or anything. I'm not a lawyer. I'm just reading you what's in the up-to-date news. And then you guys can decide yourself, how you feel about it. I got my feelings about this myself. Other people have their feelings about it. Put it in the comments below. Let other people know how you feel about it. And if you don't mind, let me ask you one little favor. If you're going to make a comment about this law, just put on there what state you're from. So let me know. July 1 is fast approaching, the dreaded day when House Bill 543 overwhelmingly passed by the Florida House Representative by a vote of 76 to 32 and signed into law by Governor DeSantis. For the unknowing, HB 543 affirms the constitutional right of every Floridian not otherwise barred from owning a handgun. Let me repeat that again. Not otherwise barred from owning a handgun to carry one in public without a permit. We've all heard the hype and the doom and gloomers dolefully predicting unbridled carnage, but what is really going to happen? Well, maybe we should look at what isn't going to happen. Or these are comments that other people make all the time, and I've heard these a lot myself just running around the villages here. Now everybody will be able to buy and carry a gun in public. You hear that a lot. The answer is no. Criteria for ownership and carrying a gun remains unchanged. In order to constitutionally carry in Florida, you must be eligible for a Florida concealed weapon and firearm license based on the criteria in section 790.06 of the Florida statute. You can find this information at fdacs.gov. In other words, if you were prevented from owning and carrying a gun before July 1, you will still be prevented from doing so after July 1. Concealed carry permits will be a thing of the past. Nope. They're still available and desirable. For example, having one exempts you from a 3-day waiting period of buying a new gun. Also, reciprocity, the legal right to carry a gun in other states that recognize Florida requirements, is only available to Floridians if you have a permit. Mentally ill people will now be able to legally buy and carry a gun in public. Well, I got my opinion about that. No. The same restrictions that prevent mentally folks from buying a gun, carrying a gun in public, will still be in effect after July 1. Without a permit, you will still have to go through a background check and 3-day waiting period at the same time of the purchase, which is what weeds out these folks from preventing from gun ownership now anyway. That won't change. There will be far more people carrying a gun than there are now. Why? Do you really think that people who are categorically opposed to gun ownership are all of a sudden going to go buy a gun and tote it around in public? They have that option now. If they want to buy a gun and get the permit, I doubt that HB 543 will change their minds on that. The children will be in far greater danger from school shootings. Now, this is a concern of mine too. Again, why? If the number of guns being carried is essentially unchanged, why would the danger to school children be increased? Here's the thing about this comment that I got to respectfully disagree with some of it. This part. If the number of guns being carried is essentially unchanged, you're assuming the number of guns being carried unchanged will not change. You're assuming that. There's no statistical fact that it will happen. But we have to wait and see after July 1st, does it happen? We don't know that. Gun crime will increase. Here's where you can pick your study, pro and con, run it up a flagpole and see who salutes. That is twisted and manipulated, but the best study I've seen so far is a study, but rather a scholastic treatise. Many studies vary so widely and contradict one another so completely. Check out More Guns, Same Amount of Crime by Robert Verbruggen, Manhattan Institute website. It is a long read, but well worth the effort if you are looking for more than just a validation of your side of the story. So what will happen? Will July 1 dawn to bodies lying in the street? Will Florida look like a Hollywood recreation of Tombstone, Arizona? Will half of Florida be armed to the teeth and rampaging through the streets while the other half is cowering under their beds? I'll tell you what's going to happen. Nothing. That was sent in by Palmer Amaranth. He's a resident of the village of Alhambra. Well, thanks, Palmer. I appreciate your thoughts on that. A lot of food for thought, isn't it? And I know you've got your thoughts, and I know you've got your feelings about it. I have mine also. So leave them in the comments below. Let us know what they are. Tell us what states you're in. That always leads to interesting information for me. I like to read that. The people in Indiana have certain thoughts because of the way they were raised. People from New York have certain thoughts because of the way they were raised. And I'm always interested in that. And that's just for me, really. So with that being said, I hope this isn't too contradictory to make a lot of you mad. It's just information that if you're moving to Florida, this is a law that's going to take effect July 1st. And don't forget, the law for operating a golf cart in the state of Florida, the villages don't make laws. We're just a retirement community. The state of Florida has a new law starting October 1st, right before the snowbirds start to come back, about golf cart operations in the state of Florida. And if you don't know what that law is now, then I believe I've got it on this Friday's news coming out about that law taking effect October 1st. You need to know. Watch the news on Friday and learn about the new law. So with that being said, thanks for watching. I hope I didn't upset anybody. I'm just trying to inform you about things that's happening around here. See you on the other side.